Hello everyone, welcome to the Geoecologist. I'm Dr. Krishnanand and you have been watching my videos on physical geography as well as human geography. So in today's session, we are going to learn about something which is called functionalism. So what is this function all about and where does this approach come from and what is its impact in geographical studies? So before we go ahead, do like and subscribe our channel and please share the videos with others as well. So now let's understand the concept of functionalism and functionalism in geography. So what is this functionalism or structural functionalism all about? It is basically a perspective in social sciences. When we say perspective, it means it is an ideology, it is an approach according to which society consists of different but related parts. Now remember, very similar to the systems approach that we studied in the previous session. What is it? It is a entire unity in which there are lots of parts that are put together, each of which serves as a particular purpose. Now catch here is serving this particular purpose. Now remember, this purpose is what we understand is coming from the teleological approach. Now remember the word teleological, you must have heard it. What is this teleos all about? It is basically coming from the Greek origin, which means an end or particular goal. So when we say teleological approach, it is not related to the cause, but it focuses mainly on the purpose, on the goal or the end that is important rather than just the process or the cause. So the entire focus here is on what? The function aspect. So what is the function? So according to functionalism, sociologists can explain social structures and social behavior in terms of components of society and their functions. So when we talk only about sociologists, what did they do? They talk about society and their functions according to this kind of approach, which is functionalism. Then major scholars that are important in terms of this social theory are Auguste Comte, who developed this functionalism in 19th century, and Émile Durkheim. So Émile Durkheim later compared society to a human body. So analogy was drawn to a human body, like a society is there, so human body is there. Similarly, human body has different components, a society has different components. So that system approach that we studied, it was very similar to this kind of analysis when we draw. So just as the body consists of different interrelated organs, similarly, society also has different kinds of important components, important individuals, and where these individuals interact and they depend upon each other, that's how the society survives. So that is important in terms of the social theory when we say functionalism. So for example, judicial systems. Now remember, a judicial system has to help the maintenance of order. School as a system, it has children, it has teacher, and it has several staff. What is the purpose here? To teach, to get educated. So important is not how question here, that what is the process or what is the causation, that what causes these schools, but rather what is the function part, why a school exists to impart this function. So existence question is here answered through the function part. That is where this functionalism is important. So when you say functionalism, the domination is on function part. So problems in a single part of society can disrupt the whole. So when we look at this statement, what do you see? As it is part of this entire system, entire society, if one part has a problem and because it is interrelated to others, so others will also have a problem. So that is where the function will be disrupted. So these are the basic ideas of functionalism in terms of social theory. Now let's understand its role in geographical understanding. So the definition of functionalism has varied over time and across various disciplines. So let's understand the word function in terms of different kinds of connotations in terms of various other subjects. So general understanding of a function is what? You go and attend a public function, public gathering to a specific ceremonial purpose. That is a general understanding, that there is this function, there is that function, annual function, Republic Day function, or many other functions, ceremonial functions. That is the basic idea. Then in political science, it is referring to what? The duties associated with a job that involves exercise of authority. So what is the function of a civil servant? What is the function of a MLA? Or what is the function of a member of parliament? So that is where the duties are assigned. Then in mathematical sense, if you see. So remember that functional relationship, x is the function of y. Many times in my lectures I quote this. So for every x value you have a y value. This is the relationship between these two variables. So x and y are two variables in a space where one impacts the other in a way where change in one will lead to change in the other. So that is what we say is mathematical function. And in sociology and biology, what is there? It refers to the process which contributes to the maintenance of organism. So it is that function that is important in terms of maintenance of organism. But finally, in geographical understanding, it is actually about the occupation. Now remember, what occupies a given space and what it performs on that space. That is where, in terms of geography, it is actually important. So let's understand the basic principles of functionalism. So first important thing is this holistic examination of the society. So society should be examined holistically as an interrelated system framework. That is the first important thing. Then causation is reciprocal. It means basically X and Y reciprocate. It's not just one way. So this is causation model where you say X impacts Y and Y in terms impact X as well. So it is a reciprocal causation relationship. Then social systems are generally in state of equilibrium. Now remember, social systems are generally in state of equilibrium. That is the basic principle under this concept of functionalism, that there is a social equilibrium that is important. So equilibrium basically means that there is a balance. That is where we say steady state, homeostatic. So functionalists are less interested in history of a society, but more concerned about the interaction between these social factors rather than historical aspect. So social interaction is what is given the priority. Then functionalists attempt to find the interrelationships between compounds of social structure. So that is here what is actually the building block of social geography, social theories. That is where the social structure, hierarchy, power relationships, interrelationships, these are important parts where we understand that what is the functional part of this. So that is what the basic principles of functionalism is all about. Now when we talk about geography and scholars in geography whose work is actually directly related, so first important scholar that we see is John Bruns. So John Bruns, who was a French geographer who wrote this book Human Geography, he actually talked about this important thing that was about cross-breeding of French genera vivai that we learned from Vidal de la Blache, and German style of this landscape studies. Remember? So this landscape studies and this genre vivai, that is about the study of this way of life, this culture. It was actually a fusion that he attempted. So he was especially keen on the role of techniques in the structuring of these ways of life. So now the focus was on what are those techniques that actually structure the ways of life and how they imprinted cultural marks on landscape. So that is where this was a fusion study that was done. So French scholars of late 19th and early 20th century argued that culture is indivisible wholeness. Basically talking about this again, the system approach that we say. And what was region? Region was considered as functional unit. So remember, functional unit is what? It performs different functions. So if this is entire landscape, it can be divided into several regions which will have uniqueness, which will have different kinds of function. And as a whole, that is what as we say is indivisible whole, it will look like a unity, that is a cultural aspect. So an organism which was more than sum of its part. So remember, this entire part is an organism and this is its functional unit, which is actually representing more than what it is constituting individually. So that is what the concept was actually promoted. So going by this functionalist perspective, especially in urban geography, remember in geography this functional approach is most popular in terms of urban geography. Why? Let's understand. Different kinds of urban centers, if you take India's example, Mumbai, Tatanagar, Kanpur, and several others, these are functional cities. Remember, Mumbai, financial capital of India, if you understand. Then Tatanagar, iron and steel manufacturing center, Kanpur, leather industry. So these cities are known by their functions. They have been built by their functions. So that is where the functional approach in urban geography is prominent. Moreover, if you observe smaller towns, it can be explained in terms of their functions through central place hierarchy that we observed. Remember, function was important, a range of good and threshold value. We talked about a particular functions that could be sustained, right? So that is important here. So each town has two types of functions, manifestating functions and latent functions. So what is this manifest and latent functions? Remember, manifestation is about what it is known. So manufacturing of iron and steel is manifestation function of Tatanagar. But the latent, the hidden part, what is that? It is also not just Tatanagar, just a iron and steel city, but it is also promoting exchange of ideas, tourism, social meeting of people, right? So that is also related, which is latent part of Tatanagar. It is one of the cleanest cities in India, if you say, for that matter. So then it holds these latent values as well, latent functions as well. That is what is important in terms of urban geography. So we say manifestation functions and latent functions. So Delhi may be having this function of parliament, which is important for the entire country. But is Delhi only having this one function? Remember, Delhi also has another function, like it is a hub for many people, for their jobs, for their livelihoods, for their education, so which is part of their same urban function, and also for medical and health facilities across India. Delhi is famous through All India Institute of Medical Sciences if you look at the trends. So what you observe here is that is the latent function for which Delhi as a city, as an urban space is known functionally. So thus a place may be explained in terms of its manifest and latent functions. So this is an image, if you observe this famous image from Tatanagar, a very famous iron and steel city in India. So that is what the best example could be. Then functionalism has 6 interrelated concepts which we need to understand, especially as geographers. So what is this 6 interrelated concepts? First is the functions itself. Then there is something called functional substitutability. So what is this substitution all about? This is about the alternatives as well. Remember, there are several functions which can also be met by substitutes. It's not important that if this function was met by A, it's not replaceable. So there are alternatives. For example, if A is not there, B can provide the same function. So if you observe the functions of a vulture, right, detritivorous as we say in ecosystem, right, what happens? Its function is to clear the detritus as well. Its function is to eat the other animals. So these functions are substituted by foxes, lions, and even human beings at many times. So what happens? This principle of functional substitutability, this is important function that we need to understand in terms of this substitution. Then there is something called goals which are important. So for every system, there is a particular goal, there is a particular purpose, then there is a pattern maintenance, that is self-regulation, status quo, which is important. Then what we have is the adaptation mechanism and then integration mechanism. So all these 6 parts or the components of this entire system is important to actually attain the purpose or the function for which this system runs. So that is the whole idea of this interrelation of this concept used by geographers. Now, remember, the criticism of this functionalism is also based on the basic idea on which the functionalism exists. So functionalism has been criticized both conceptually and also on the methodological grounds. Functionalism conceives geographical realities as a state of equilibrium, as you studied in the earlier part. And then further, what is important that it has too much of emphasis on this teleological approach, that is only considering function that is important, that is purpose that is important, and ignoring this method part, the cause part, right? So that is where the criticism was there. So criticism of functionalism on conceptual grounds contend that their preoccupation with society as a system does not allow functionalists to study or focus on contemporary problems. For example, what? Poverty, war, disease, racism. Now this is where it lags. That's why this was not well accepted in 1970s after the revolution came in humanistic geography, where these normative questions of real life were actually discussed by the humanistic geographers. So functionalism has been accused of advocating social control rather than social change. So this change, that is progressiveness, is not what is important. Here social control mechanism is important. Remember, x is the function of y. So here x controls y or y controls x. Their social control is important in this approach in geography. So it has a static bias that is important, right? It is not progressive in nature and it is incapable of accounting for a social change. That's why social theorists actually say that functional approach or functionalist approach is just incomplete in itself. So that is what is important in functionalism. So now, when we have understood about the functionalist perspective, the functionalism approach in geography, in the lectures to come, we'll be learning more on spatial organization. So all the best wishes, take care.